All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have another Houston Rocket video for you. Now, before I get into this video, if you enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that sub button for me if you enjoy the video. Thank you so much. Now, I want to talk about the Houston Rockets possibly making the playoffs because I was texted a video today of a little compilation of KPJ and KJ Martin at I think it was a Lifetime Fitness. But they were basically just summer hooping, and like the first video was KJ Martin just posterizing somebody, and it looks like if you've been following KPJ on social media, I know like following dudes on social, like making opinions and that type of thing off social media is like a big no-no, but in this situation, KPJ on social media this summer, it's been like something of notice. I mean, he's tweeting about how the league's sleeping on him and how he's got next and how he's a point guard and all of this good stuff. And then you see these videos of him putting in work in the gym, in the weight room, on the court, and it's like, oh my God, dude, like KPJ actually looks really good, and he's playing really good too. And the same exact thing can be said about KJ Martin. Now, obviously, I don't think, I think even like your most diehard Rocket fan will tell you, obviously, like, they're probably, bro, there's a hair like right here. Get out of here, hair. I think even like a diehard Rocket fan, like 50 plus fan, veteran year, hardcore Rocket guy, I think even they would tell you that the Houston Rockets championship aspirations most likely aren't going to happen for a couple more years. However, I do think that this team will make the playoffs. And honestly, if the play-in tournament wasn't a thing this year, I still think that the Rockets would at least be in contention. Dude, I see the hair right here. This is insane. I hate hairs, just random hairs, bro. Get out of here. I think that the Houston Rockets can genuinely make the playoffs if a couple of things happen. The first thing being, I think that John Wall has to take just like a huge step up, like a huge leap. He's not sitting back-to-backs. He's averaging 20 points a game. He's averaging close to 10 assists per game. So it is a little bit more far-fetched, but I don't think it's all that unrealistic that John Wall has a phenomenal year next year. In fact, the more I play through it in my brain, the more I think that Stone and the Houston Rockets organization is banking on the fact that John Wall has a productive and healthy season next year, maybe even along with Eric Gordon, that they can increase their value and maximize their returns. A lot of the things in sports with general managers is like you're really just trying to get a good return on your investment. And the investment on John Wall wasn't that much, right? I think we got a first round pick, or maybe we had to give up, but I'm pretty sure they gave us a first round pick and we gave them an all-star healthy Russell Westbrook. Now, moving past John Wall, I think Jalen Green's going to come off the bench. And I keep talking about this in my videos, but for some reason it's not grasping heads. Jalen Green, like, just because he's a rookie doesn't mean he needs to start. And you see it in every single sport, even basketball. I mean, LaMelo Ball last year wasn't a starter for several weeks. That's just how sports are, man. You don't want to like push them. You don't want to like risk injury. If you're trying to compete, your other options, although the potential isn't as high, are still probably better options because they've been on the team for longer. Like KPJ at 2 is a better option to me than Jalen Green at 2 because he's been on the team for a year. He isn't a rookie. He's had 2 years of experience. Like, Jalen Green's going to come off the bench. It just is going to happen. They're not going to run a John Wall, Jalen Green, KPJ trio because defensively they'll just get lit up. I mean, they'll get lit up every single night. That won't happen. Maybe you'll see a couple of rotations like that, but I don't think you'll see starting lineups consist of John Wall, Jalen Green, and KPJ. the Houston Rockets aren't in a win now mode. So there isn't a reason to rush Jalen Green's progression or development. Like, you want him to stay healthy, you want him to get the speed of NBA, and you want him to kind of grow into his own shoes and improve on areas that he needs to improve on. And to me, coming off the bench is probably his best bet for that next year. Like, John Wall will not be a part of the team by the time his contract's over, in my opinion. They'll trade him, they'll buy him out, they'll figure something out. So what I think happens next year, and I talked about this in yesterday's video, was I think John Wall has a good year next year and that his value increases. Obviously, he's on one of the worst contracts in the NBA, like just a horrible, like he gets paid like he's a top 5 player in the NBA. So that's still going to be an issue. You still got to match the salaries. We might still have to give up a first round pick. But I think he's going to increase his value from what it is right now. And then eventually, after that trade happens, you'll have KPJ at the 1. You'll have Jalen Green at the 2. You know, Jay Sean / KJ at 3. Christian Wood at 4. Daniel Theis at 5. So there's no rush. And in fact, Jalen Green coming off the bench only helps the Houston Rockets playoff advances because Jalen Green's going to give you 15 a night. It's just, to me, I try to have an open mind, but when it comes to Jalen Green and his scoring average next year, there's no world I can like even imagine where Jalen Green doesn't average 15 points. Even if he's coming off the bench playing 22 minutes a night, I still think he's going to put up 15 because that's what he does. He's an elite scorer. He's a freak athlete. The bench squad is a pretty solid squad as well. It's led by DJ Augustine. It's led by KJ Martin, maybe Jalen Green. They've got talent. You've got Garuba. You've got Şengün. It's going to be interesting. And I think the bench, you got Nwaba. Can't forget about Nwaba. You can't forget about Armani. Like, you can't forget about a lot of these dudes. But that, to me, next season, that's going to be the biggest test, is our bench. I think that a starting lineup of what I said earlier, John Wall, a healthy John Wall, a healthy KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate should be taking leaps up this offseason. He should come back an improved shooter. He should come back healthier, more fit, as he was showing at the end of the season. He should just take a step up. That's what rookies do. They get better. So Jae'Sean Tate should be better. Christian Wood back to his normal position at 4. And then you got Daniel Theis, the guy who's going to go down there and do all the grunt work, all the dirty work, all the heavy lifting. And you've got him at 5. And then you've got a bench with Jalen Green, a veteran presence in DJ Augustine, and the guys we just mentioned. But to me, it's going to come down to, can the bench continue to produce? A lot of the times last season, especially at the end of the year, was whenever John Wall was off the court, the Rockets went to shambles. I mean, before he got shut down, it was literally like, all right, we've got a little lead right here, which was kind of rare, to be honest with you. If we've got a lead and John Wall gets out, that lead's gone. But for the most part, what last season consisted of, all you diehard Rocket fans, you guys remember this, was we have a deficit to come back from. Specifically in the fourth quarter, there would be we would come back after halftime. We would be losing at halftime, come back. John Wall would get us back into the game, or our starters would get us back into the game. And then once they went to the bench at the end of the third quarter, our team would just completely lose it. Just absolute meltdown. Nothing's going right, and it's like a 15, 20-point deficit out of nowhere. And so then John Wall would come back into the game at some point in the fourth quarter, bring us back single-handedly. But the issue was he was doing so much work the whole game. He was doing so much work the whole quarter that eventually he's going to be stopped. It's not like he's LeBron James. John Wall's going to get stopped. Like, he was our whole team, especially when Christian Wood was injured. What else do we really have? So I think John Wall's going to have a phenomenal year, but that bench squad is important. And I think getting Jalen Green to come off the bench is going to be huge. Also, the arrival of DJ Augustine, although he may not be the most intriguing and he may not be the most fun player because he's, 33 years old, he's a really, really consistent backup point guard. Like, he is one of the most consistent backup point guards in the NBA. And that's good for two reasons. He's going to help our backup bench. He's just going to help our bench squad be good or be better, be more improved. And second off, he's gonna have value. He's got value right now. He's gonna have value at the trade deadline. He'll have trade value at the end of the season. Well, the longer we wait, the more it's gonna slowly decline just because he's so old. However, if he's still continuing to put up consistent numbers, consistent play, stay healthy, which is what he's been doing for several seasons. I don't know why I don't really remember why Milwaukee didn't either bring him back or trade him. However, that ended in Milwaukee. We've got him now, right? We've got DJ Augustine. He was in the PJ Tucker trade, and we've got DJ Augustine now. And so if he's on the team, the Rockets are going to utilize him. Every team needs veteran presence, and especially a bench of what might be Jalen Green at the 2, Jae'Sean Tate at the 3, Usman Garuba at the 4, and then Alfred at the 5. That's a really, really young lineup where if you put DJ Augustine as kind of the commander of that, I wouldn't be worried at all. I think that they'll be better off with DJ than somebody else. I don't really know what backup point guards they would be targeting right now, but if I had to imagine the Rockets targeting backup point guards right now, I would have to be thinking like really young players. And so, even if we got a guy like Trey Mann, by the way, was putting in work after he got drafted in the gym, which is super dope. Even if we drafted a guy like Trey Mann, Trey's, he's only going to get 15, 20 minutes his rookie season, if that. They're not going to insert him as the starting backup point guard until he's ready for that role, or unless they really had to. And with DJ Augustine on the team, it just, that's not really a realistic situation. So this Rocket squad, if they can stay healthy, if they can continue to improve and progress and develop, I think that they should easily be in the play-in tournament. And from there, hopefully they just get on a couple of win streaks. Hopefully they get some luck from other teams. If they can stay healthy next year, I don't see a single reason as to why they, won't be in the playoffs. And that's, I try to be as unbiased as I can. I mean, I literally live here in Chicago. So, taking it from me, especially with the work they've been putting in, that we've been seeing, that these young guys have been putting in the offseason, it's really promising. So I think the Houston Rockets have a lot to be excited about, and I do think that they will ultimately make the playoffs. Let me know down in the comments below if you think they will make the playoffs. Once again, my Houston Rockets daily channel is below. I've got all the links to all my socials. Also, if you like these face videos more than clips and stuff like that, let me know. Or if you like clips more than face, let me know down below. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching today's video. Hit that like button as always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.